At rainforest dawn, each drop of mist carries the breath of evolution, the origin of python skin. Across the damp earth, its trail records muscle and friction, measured precisely in newtons. 120 rows of scales, locked at 37 degrees, nature's design for strength and grace. Beneath the shimmer, the skin breathes through 18,000 micropores, exchanging heat and moisture. Every scale acts like a prism, scattering light from 400 to 700 nanometers, a masterpiece of evolution. Dive deeper, where keratin and collagen weave a living network of resilience. Collagen's triple helix, only 1.5 nanometers wide, is stronger than steel by weight. Capillaries under 8 microns deliver oxygen that renews each cell. This is not decoration but an intelligent material shaped over 60 million years. Each glide cuts friction by 35%, allowing silent motion through the forest. With every breath, the skin expands 6%, balancing elasticity and pressure like a living sensor. When shedding begins, the old layer separates cleanly, a biological reset written in its genes. The discarded skin glows under sunlight, preserving the memory of millions of cells. As it drifts through air, mass, light, and motion merge in perfect harmony. No two patterns are alike. Each scale is a unique genetic fingerprint. Its geometry follows the Fibonacci sequence, a universal rhythm of nature. Nature encodes her design in data, and humanity is only beginning to read it. In the lab, this geometry becomes a CAD blueprint of biological intelligence. Surface scans show a thickness between 0.6 and 1.2 millimeters, a natural gradient of strength and flexibility. Digital models reveal python skin is an advanced form of biomaterial. Two worlds meet, organic texture blends with engineered precision. The pattern transforms into leather, into craft, born of knowledge and respect. On the artisan's table, the hide rests, tamed, yet still breathing with life. Each touch warms the surface, temperature rises by 1.2 degrees. Responding like living flesh. Every ridge records tension and direction, a tactile memory of movement. The grain flows like a river, shaped by time and biology. In half-light, the machines awaken, steel guided by human instinct. Rows of leather sway gently, singing the transition from life to art. The finished piece gleams, where molecules and hands find harmony. Nature was never just a resource, she has always been the master designer. And now, let's explore the complete production process. From scientifically processed raw python skin, under the talented hands of master craftsmen, how are luxury handbags created? Every masterpiece begins in silence, just texture, light, and the promise of what it could become. As the finished form rewinds back into raw scales, we return to nature's first stroke of design. These scales carry the geometry of the wild, organic curves arranged with mathematical intention. The serpent's shed skin is a quiet rebirth, the same renewal that initiates our craft. Freshly shed skin reveals its Fibonacci-like rhythm, symmetry shaped by instinct and evolution. In controlled farms, each skin is selected with strict biological standards to ensure consistency. We inspect every pattern, confirming natural thickness within a precise plus or minus 0.02 millimeters tolerance. The first wash lifts impurities gently, preserving the natural lattice that defines the final work. Water glides across the scales, revealing micro-textures that will later guide the dye. Cleaned patterns emerge like a map of organic mathematics, curves that will shape the design. Stretched across a tension frame, the skin stabilizes, aligning scale rows for perfect future form. Cold storage locks in moisture and elasticity, preparing the material for deeper transformation. At -5 degrees Celsius, fibers contract evenly, preventing microfractures and preserving structural integrity. A gloved hand sets the preserved skin onto the bench, the quiet signal that creation begins. Under a soft spotlight, the material waits, carrying its past, ready to be reborn into elegance. To protect the natural pattern, the skin meets its first scientific bath, an organic enzyme blend designed to keep every scale intact. As bubbles rise, enzymes begin separating residual proteins without disturbing the geometry nature has drawn. The foam forms a delicate layer of activity, measured at 98% efficiency, working with quiet precision. Gentle currents lift impurities away, revealing the true surface beneath without breaking the natural lattice. We check the pH, holding it between 3.8 and 4.2, the range where enzymes remain active yet respectful of the skin's structure. In a 36-hour rotational cycle, agitation distributes the reaction evenly, ensuring softness develops in perfect balance. A digital gauge confirms the temperature at 25 degrees Celsius, the threshold where fibers relax without warping. Enzymes seep between scale rows like ink settling into engraved lines, steady, even, mathematical. As the skin lifts from the bath, droplets fall cleanly, leaving only a refined, purified texture. With calipers, we confirm thickness variations stay within plus or minus 0.02 millimeters, ensuring uniformity for later shaping. A gentle stretch test at 0.5 N per centimeter reveals how the fibers respond, flexible yet disciplined. Light pressure removes leftover moisture while preserving the skin's natural grain. Inside the clean room at 45% humidity, the skin begins its controlled drying, forming strength without brittleness. Airflow passes evenly across the surface, polishing its gloss one breath at a time. Under magnification, we inspect each scale edge to ensure nothing has been damaged in the enzyme phase. A final rinse with purified water washes away any residue, leaving the skin pristine and neutral. We test softness by bending the sheet gently, seeking the balance between resilience and luxury touch. Under a cool spotlight, the preserved skin waits, ready to absorb the colors of its next transformation. Color begins not with paint, but with light. We study the spectrum, shaping a formula where delta E stays below 1.0, near perfect human invisibility. Pigments blend slowly in the artisan's bowl, swirling like a controlled universe of violets, teals, and golds waiting to be born. As the skin descends into its first dye bath, the transformation begins, soft, deliberate, almost ceremonial. Color blooms across the scales, spreading evenly like ripples through a calm lake. We dip the skin again and again, each 12-minute layer deepening its tone with mathematical precision. The artisan stirs the bath by hand, ensuring no blotches, no turbulence, only harmony. Under the LED analyzer, saturation is measured carefully, confirming that every hue aligns with the intended palette. A spectrophotometer scans the surface, validating the delta E target that separates luxury from imperfection. Through a microscope, we inspect dye coverage along the scale edges, checking for seamless color flow. Inside a 40 degrees Celsius airflow chamber, the dyed skin dries evenly, forming its new identity. A 3-micron polymer layer is applied, adding that signature silk gloss shine. Warm air seals the coating, locking brilliance into every scale ridge. A beam of light sweeps across the surface, revealing shifting gradients like living iridescence. Close up, each scale glimmers like a gemstone, teal, violet, gold, fluid yet precise. We compare chromatic curves to our reference tones, ensuring perfect harmony. A soft cloth enhances the gloss, allowing the surface to breathe with new brilliance. Across the table, multiple dyed skins rest, each one a different shade of the same crafted elegance. Under warm magenta light, the finished color glows, ready to meet the engineered surface of the next stage. To refine the surface, we begin with heat, aligning the skin beneath a 130 degrees Celsius press that reshapes each scale with measured precision. As the plates close, the structure softens just enough to stabilize, holding the natural geometry in perfect balance. When the press lifts, the scales lie flatter, reflecting light in a smoother, more controlled pattern. A digital gauge confirms the exact 130 degrees Celsius, where transformation happens without distortion. We apply a nano coating only 2.8 microns thin, barely visible yet essential for luxury durability. Under UV lamps, the coating activates, bonding with the surface to resist water and sunlight. Droplets glide across the scales, demonstrating the hydrophobic reaction engineered into the finish. A UV scanner sweeps the surface to verify coating uniformity. Every area must behave as one continuous material. Next, we secure the skin into the tensile machine, preparing it for structural measurement. Stretched to 15% elongation, the fibers hold firm, proof of strength hidden beneath elegance. Inside the flex testing machine, the skin begins its 20.000 cycle endurance test. Even at high speed, the scales bend without cracking, an engineered resilience shaped by craft and science. After the test, we inspect the surface closely, seeking any sign of strain. A beam of cool light sweeps along the scales, revealing engineered reflections that move in perfect alignment. Under magnification, we study microstructures, ensuring that every ridge remains true to its geometry. By rotating the skin under a gradient light, we confirm the gloss remains uniform from every angle. A final tactile check lets the artisan feel the refinement, smooth, strong, and ready. Under a focused spotlight, the engineered surface stands prepared for the shaping and assembly to come. Craftsmanship begins with precision, placing the skin beneath a laser calibrated to cut within plus or minus 0.1 millimeters. As the red beam traces each line, the pattern follows nature's geometry with absolute clarity. When the cut completes, the edges separate cleanly, preserving every scale's natural contour. Each piece is laid out like a puzzle of patterns, arranged so the flow of scales continues uninterrupted. We match pieces together, aligning every curve so the design feels born from a single surface. Waxed thread is prepared, strengthened to stitch 0.3 mm seams that will hold for decades. The first needle pierces the skin, carrying with it the emotion of the artisan's touch. Stitch by stitch, a rhythmic seam forms, small, even, and quietly precise. Along curved edges, the artisan moves slowly, guiding each stitch to follow the natural arc of the scales. Internal reinforcements are placed gently, giving the handbag structure without sacrificing softness. A metal frame is aligned, its contours matching the flow of the python texture. Gold-plated hardware is fixed into place, adding weight, balance, and a quiet glow. The handle is shaped and stitched, formed patiently to ensure comfort and longevity. Edges are polished until they feel seamless, like a single continuous line of craftsmanship. Premium lining is inserted, meeting the outer skin with perfect alignment. As the panels come together, the body of the handbag finally takes shape. A seasoned craftsman glides his hand across the surface, feeling texture, history, and the spirit of the material. Under warm light, the assembled form stands complete, ready for its final trials. Quality begins with tension. The skin is secured into the tensile machine, ready to face forces up to 120 newtons. As the device applies upward pull, we watch the fibers respond, stretching but never losing their discipline. Even at full extension, the scale edges hold firm, proving structure beneath the luxury. We test the seams with repeated pulls, 50 cycles of stress to ensure each stitch remains unbroken. When the seam stays intact, it confirms what hands already know: craftsmanship and durability can coexist. Next comes light. The dyed skin is placed under a high-intensity lamp to simulate 1,000 hours of sun. A spectral scanner reads delta E values, ensuring the color shifts remain below 2, barely detectable to the human eye. We measure gloss with precise instruments, checking for an even sheen across the entire surface. An abrasion wheel rotates against the skin, testing its resistance to wear without disturbing the pattern. Water is sprayed across the coating. Droplets glide away, proving the hydrophobic layer is alive and functional. The material then enters a heat cycle, preparing it for the final branding stage. A gold-toned plate heats to 120 degrees Celsius, reaching the temperature where leather and insignia become one. The brand stamp descends slowly, leaving behind a clean embossed emblem glowing with warmth. On the inspection table, each piece passes through a ritual of clicks, stamps, and silent evaluation. Finally, under a soft spotlight, the verified skin stands certified, worthy of becoming a true luxury artifact. In the artisan's hands, the finished handbag rises gently, its surface shifting from cool tones to warm gold, as if awakening. With each slow rotation, the texture reveals stories etched into every scale, nature refined by human intention. Up close, light breathes across the surface, making the scales seem alive, moving like a quiet pulse beneath the gloss. From the shadows, its silhouette emerges, soft at first, then glowing with the confidence of its final form. Lowered onto black satin, the bag settles like a piece of jewelry guided to its rightful pedestal. Under studio gold light, the entire form shines, balanced, sculpted, complete. The brand insignia catches a beam of light, marking the transformation from raw material to identity. A slow pan reveals every refined detail, each one a small chapter of the craft that shaped it. Text appears softly above it, an acknowledgement of the journey from skin to symbol. And with a single quiet tick of the zipper, the story closes and the elegance begins.